Hello, Nigel Review, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome back. Another book review for you today. And this time, obviously, you can see it's on the Boeing B-52. Whenever I see these words and letters and numbers together, I just have to go and buy it. So, as some of you will know, I was at the Gloucester show yesterday. I saw a few of you there. And I bumped into Moss. And I also bumped into Justin. And Justin is the guy who owns this company here called Bookworld. And those of you who watch me regularly will know that I'm always praising these people up when I get my Wing Leader books because they do such fantastic packaging and everything, and it's really, really good. I've known Justin for years, and I didn't know I was praising that guy up when I was praising up Bookworld. So it's great when you can put a company and a face together, isn't it? And he knew me, and I knew him, and he didn't know who Nigel's Modelling Bench was. He didn't know it was me. And I didn't know Bookworld was him, so we've made that link now. And apparently he's going to send me some more books. So there we go. Anyway, so I was chatting to Justin yesterday on his stand. It's a great big stand he's got at Gloucester. And yeah, saw those words, just picked it up and bought it. So this is by Ben Skipper, and it's covering the Boeing B-52, and it covers all of them, all the way from A up to, well, from XB up to the H. So it's not the best B-52 book out there, but at $18.99 I think it's well worth the money. It goes back to basics. You can see here we've got a B-52H with the wrinkled up fuselage signs. You've got some there flying together with a B-29 and a B-17, and then we've got some real old stuff here. We've got the old XB-52. Sorry, that's a B-47 there. We have got a picture of an XB-52 in here. My shoulder's still bloody hurting. So yeah, we've got the B-29 there, and then you can see how the B-52 came about. Got B-17 there being assembled. I'm not going to go through every page. We've got some J-57 engines there going into a B-52D, is that? Yes, going into a D. Got XP-48 there. So yeah, you can see how it all came along. We've got some B-36s there. There's an XB-52 there. B-36 in the background. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Here's the B-28 nuclear missiles. So yeah, they were lost in an accident, weren't they? And had to recover them, and they're actually currently on display in Albuquerque in New Mexico. So there we go. There's a lovely B-52 cockpit. Yeah, and you can see here a plan of how you eject from the aircraft in an emergency. So yeah, you can see lots and lots of detailed images for the modeler. It's quite handy. You've got undercarriage gear. That's Duxford, isn't it? Yes, it is. And it's lovely. That's a B-52G in the beautiful camo over white scheme. That's probably my favourite looking B-52 scheme. Very nice indeed. Very common photograph there. Something else about this book, few of the pictures are common, but a lot of them, most of them are new to me. It's very nice to see some new images. Because a lot of books these days, because there's so much on the internet, they just sort of get all their images from the same place, I think. But yeah, you can see there's a B-52D, so it's massive fuel tanks. That's in the silver over white. I'm not sure if it's bare metal or painted silver. It's probably painted with certain sections left bare. See a B-52H in flight there. It's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing aircraft. There's one there all weathered and faded from being sat in the sun at a museum. Very nice indeed. Lovely silver and white scheme there. They always look nice in those colours, especially built up as a model. I will say, if you are into modelling, the Model Collect B-52 that me and everybody knocks all the time, I've seen one done in this scheme, an early G, done out of the box and painted like that, and it looked bloody lovely. All the inaccuracies just fade away. You just see this beautiful model. So if you're not into aftermarket and you just want to build one, if you go for that sort of scheme, it looks bloody lovely. I think when you start getting all the camouflage on them and the greys and everything, I think that maybe that's when problems start to show up. I don't know, but I saw one in that scheme and it looked bloody marvellous. And I told the bloke so as well. That's an interesting picture here. You can see one flying with a B-2. And it says here, with the B-1 and B-2 being considered for retirement by the 2030s, the B-52 will have outserved the aircraft designed to replace it, which is absolutely amazing, isn't it? You think the KC-135, I talked about this in another video, the KC-135 is still in service, the KC-10, has just been taken out of service. So it's quite incredible, isn't it? So there we go. Lots of different images of planes being worked on and bombs being loaded. Very, very nice indeed. So there's a few bits and pieces of information in here which I would argue, but you know, there's always room for debate, I guess, with everything. But there's a TU-95 there, a 295. That's the B-52's equivalent. Beautiful aircraft in my opinion. So ugly, it's beautiful. There's a B-52. That's a H. I can't, because of the reflection from the light, it's very difficult. That's an H. With rocket booster, takes on fuel. There you can see when they're either coming into land or taking off, because the undercarriage is halfway up. So you can see lots of lovely images. There's the H that lost its tail and still managed to get home. So very nice indeed. We've got colour images there of different aircraft in different schemes from different periods with all descriptions about where they're from and everything. And then we get into a section about modelling. Now, I must say I'm a little bit disappointed that I didn't get a mention, because I think I've done a lot of B-52 content, and as I'm probably the only person who's ever made resin for the Model Collect kits, and I think I'm currently the only person that has correct fuel tanks for any B-52 G and onwards. So yeah, I was surprised I didn't get a mention, but hey ho. But here you can see we've got the 148th B-52H from HPH being talked about. As you know, I've got this kit. I've done a multi-part review on it. It's probably, if not one of the favourite models in my stash. Absolutely love it. It's beautiful. So there's your B-52H with all its lovely detail. If you haven't seen those reviews, go and have a look. It's absolutely stunning, that kit. It is amazing. You can see here there's an undercarriage bay. There's a weapons bay there. And you can see the pilot's seats in 148th. This is the 148th cockpit. They also do a 132nd scale cockpit. It's not shown in here, but I've done a review of that as well. I'm just hoping they do a 132nd scale B-52 to go with it, or at least a nose section, so you just get the exterior, because when you buy the 132nd scale cockpit, that's all you get. You don't actually get an outer shell to go on it. It would be nice to have a 32nd scale shell to put over it. Perhaps make it out of clear vac form or something, so you could leave one side clear. I don't know. Then we're talking about different kits here. This is looking at the AMT Italeri kit, which is a bit of a dog, to be honest. It needs a lot of work to get it right, which I've covered in my channel in various videos. But the nose is the wrong shape. All the pods on the bottom are the wrong shape. The wings have in-flight attitude, so the wings have dihedral, whereas they should have anhedral when they're sat on the ground. So that needs work. You've got this section around here on the tail. The angle of attack parts are way too accentuated, so they need to be taken back a bit. And also the whole tail section is too skinny. It kind of comes along, and at the back of the bomber it just goes like this, and then it tapers off like a little tadpole. At the back here it's really thin. Go back and look in my videos, you'll see I've done a video and shown how to correct the shape. Here we've got the Model Collect kit, and they're showing parts from the this is the AMT kit here. That's not Model Collect, so that's AMT as well, I think. Yes, because it has no separate flaps. So that's the AMT kit there. This is Model Collect. So these images here, obviously the Model Collect kit. This is the B-52H. Despite having an 8-piece fuselage for ease of construction, there are numerous minor issues with the finer details, including missing antenna, overly large wingtip fuel tanks, and incorrect shaped engine intakes. There are also challenges within the build process that require additional time to rectify, such as fixing AGM 86s to the CRL and needing bulkhead plates behind the landing gear. Initial kit instructions were deemed rather crude and have been updated. I actually make resin undercarriage bays for this kit because it's actually incorrect. What they've done, they've used the same undercarriage bay roof in the rear as they are in the front. Well, in the front they have the air conditioning unit and everything there. In the rear it's just a recess, and if you can see it there, that is the ANT part, and that is what the undercarriage bay roof should be like. And what they've done, that's the front, that's the rear, and they've done, Model Collect have done the front and back the same. And when we get to the 144 scale Great Wall Hobby, They've copied Model Collect. They all copy each other, these companies, and they should do their research before they copy. So yeah, so there you go, the Model Collect. The nice thing about the Model Collect kit, it's got fully detailed undercarriage bays, incorrect but fully detailed bomb bay, positionable flaps, so it's nice to be able to have the flaps down. The AMT kit, you can't have the flaps down, you have to buy aftermarket. But the wingtip tanks are horrible, as they said in here. The engine intakes are horrible. I'll go through the rest. The tail planes are too small, the back ends are all wrong, there's no rudder on the fin, so that just needs to be scribed in. Engine intakes are wrong, wing tanks are too big, tail planes are too small, engine positions on the wing are incorrect. I think the fuselage sits too low in relation to the ground. The nose is the wrong shape. I think the windscreen's a little bit squat. I think that's about all. And then you've got the internal differences as well. So yeah, worth playing with if you want to do some more. I used to make all these resin parts. I made a complete resin front for the late and the early, with and without all the lumps and bumps. I made tail planes of the correct size. I made correct rear ends. I made correct fuel tanks, but I don't do any of it anymore. So please don't ask, because I don't have any. Well, I do have moulds, but they're all knackered, and I don't want to go making new ones. So trouble is, it costs so much money to make the moulds because the resin's quite expensive, or the silicone, and especially with the tail planes. I used like half a kilo of silicone to make the molds for the tail planes, and then I get a reject rate of about, I get one set for every 3 I make probably. So you can imagine the cost to do it is just, and the time is just crazy. So but you can see there they're too small. And then coming over the page here, we've got the Great Wall Hobby Kit. So that's a very nice model as well. I've reviewed that. You can see it's got the flaps extended. You can see it's got a complete bomb bay. It's got undercarriage bays, but again, they've copied the Model Collect kit, so they've got it wrong. Wing tanks, I think, are okay on this. I can't remember now. And then we've got the Academy one here. Yeah, funnily enough, with this one, you get all the lower cockpit detail, the same as you do with Model Collect. You can't see any of it. With this one, you're only getting the upper cockpit. Unlike the other 144th kits, Academy has not held back with their decals, including no step markings. The kit features cockpit masts and options to build 3 different versions of the H, all in gunship grey. I reckon that's the Academy kit there. It doesn't actually say. It doesn't actually say what it is, unless it says somewhere. You see, it's saying it features full bomb bay and everything, but it's not open there. So that could be either. It could be Academy or Great Wall Hobby. I think it's Academy, because looking at the wing tanks, they look a bit teardrop shaped. So I think that might be Academy. Anyway, let me go on to extras, aftermarket. And like I say, I'm surprised I haven't got a mention in here, because as I say, I've put so much content out about B-52 corrections, aftermarkets, how-tos and everything. But you can see we've got the Edward cockpit set there. We've got the lovely, from Aircraft and Miniature, we've got the bomb loading trailer for the big belly mod. That's where you get the great big stack of bombs. We've got the open nose there from Black Dog. I'm not a big fan of that, because I think it ruins the whole line of the model. But if you don't want to go to the expense of correcting the shape of the nose and everything, that's a good way to disguise it, because the this is for the Italeri kit, all of this, and it's the nose is way too tapered. It's horrible, and these pods here, these fleurs, are awful, absolutely awful. And then we've got the bomb bay. As you can see, we've got them there. That's a set with the nose and the bomb bay. It's just the bomb bay, and then we've got flaps and engines. Okay, it's a very nice. We've got an image there of that's a H or a G. Oh, that's the other thing with the Model Collect kit. It has no angle of attack mechanism here, so I've made all that in resin. You also don't have the 40-inch extension in parallel. As you can see there, it comes up to the taper and just keeps going tapered. There should be a parallel section at the back there, and all of the little bits on the sides are all incorrect as well. There's no antennas or anything for the top or the bottom either. There we go. We've got some different decal sheets there which are available, and then we've got the Dragon 1/200th. So you've got the MB-52B and the with X15A. So that's in 1/200 scale, so that's going to be quite small. It's a lovely little model by the look of it. Very nicely done. If you're not into doing your bare metal finishes, it's quite small, so you don't have to go too mad. There we go. And then here we have the Italeri B-52G in 1/72 scale, and this one has actually got the fairings on the wings by the look of it. Can't see because of the reflections. Yes, it has. And then here it looks like we've got the that looks like the Black Dog engine there. Looks very much like the Black Dog engine. It's got the kit fuel tanks on there, and we can see there, I think the tail is, yeah, you can see that skinny tail there. Look how skinny it is there. The you know, it's not much wider than the actual fin itself. Another one we look at in a minute, I think he's actually modified the tail, but you can see very nicely done. The Black Dog nose as well, and that's actually part of a diorama apparently. That's a diorama I would like to see. And then here's another B-52G. This is another Italeri kit. They're all AMT, but this one's had the wing dihedral corrected. He's also done the bit in the sides there, so he's got put the wrinkling images, what I talked about in my video. He's done the actual dihedral here, which I talked about in my video about cutting the sides open and pushing them down. So yeah, like I said, I'm surprised they didn't get a mention, especially with the aftermarket, because like I said, I used to do a lot of nice resin for it. Maybe it's because I used to do it and I don't do it anymore. There we are. That's a lovely build. Hummer on there. And then here he's got this plastic in a drill. I think he's doing the intakes for the engine there. Very nice indeed. You can see he's filled out that area there. Sorry, I had a cough then. To reduce that great big step that's in the Italeri kit. You can see he's fattened up the fuselage as well. So there we are. Very nicely done. Beautiful looking model. They all look great. I love the Italeri windscreen. It's probably too tall. I think the glazing is too tall, but I just love the look of it. When you look at it like that, you can see it looks too tall, but I just think it's, I don't know if it's too sloped back, which makes the glass too long, or what, I don't know, but it's I just think it looks great. And I think the Model Collect one is a little bit too shallow, a bit squashed. So there we go, guys. So all in all, $18.99. I think it's well worth it if you want some nice B-52 images in your life. There are some lovely images in there, great detail shots for your engines and stuff. But there we are. As I say, if you want to get yourself one, get onto Bookworld, bookworldws.co.uk, and order yourself one, and I'll get you one out overnight. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.